My, the proximity. Although I am quite terrified of you, sir. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir David, and it is spooky month, so why don't we play a game that looks utterly terrifying? This is The Bloody Painter. Ow. We're jumping right into it. I'm adorable. With a severe headache, you wake up in an unfamiliar place. As you touch the bruise on the back of your head, it seems you were hit by something heavy before you lost consciousness. A heavy iron chain tied around your feet. Someone has trapped you here. Oh, must be Tuesday. You try to remember what happened before you lost consciousness, but you can't recall anything. Let's investigate the surroundings first. Doesn't look like there's much. Well, what are the walls doing? The room is surrounded by 4 walls without windows. It's weirdly cleaned up, and no ashes or sand can be seen. Looks like a prison built by a germaphobe. That could be good information. Where to investigate next? Cell phone? Do I have a cell phone? They didn't take my cell phone? What are you, amateurs? No signal. I might be in a remote place, or underground. Mattress? No blankets or anything? There's a mattress on the floor. The mattress feels really hard to lie on. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Near the door, there's a serving of spaghetti and tomato sauce and a bottle of water. He even got a little basil on it. Also, a round plastic fork that's completely harmless was thoughtfully attached. It's still warm. It feels like it was sent here not long ago. Door? You peek through the keyhole, but you see nothing outside. I wonder where I am. Let's end the investigation. Yes. What's the next move? Yell for help, listen, knock over the meal, or sleep. Well, let's just listen for a minute. Also, where's the eat that delicious meal button? Let's listen for a bit. You can't hear any sound other than your own breathing. The soundproofing in this room seems particularly good. Well, I'm not going to knock over that delicious meal, so let's have a little lay down. Why are you asking me am I sure? Yes. I don't want to destroy that yummy-looking food. You lie on the bed. You try to sleep under this condition. Maybe it's the fatigue caused by nervousness, but you still fall asleep. You open your eyes after hearing some noises. Oh, hi! Oh, what a charming young man. See, he's got a little smiley face on his button. Oh boy, I'll tell you, that's kind of terrifying. That's kind of actually scary. A tall man wearing a mask is squatting on the ground and looking at you with his head tilted. He remains silent, as if he is sizing up his prey. He points to the plate on the floor, like indicating that you should finish your meal quickly. Thinking that the strange man might have poisoned the meal, you shake your head in fear. Now, why would he go through all this just to poison you in a cell? If anything, it's probably drugged, but I don't think poisoned. Seeing you have no intention of eating, he looks quite distressed.
You can't die. Not now.
He slowly speaks with a deep and steady voice.
The freezer is full.
What does that mean?
The freezer is full, and there's no space for more.
Okay.
7 days.
He pauses and thinks.
There won't be space until 7 days later.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
If you die now, you'll rot.
What do you mean? So I only have 7 days left to live? He nods and walks out of the door. Wait, you can't just leave me here like this. Please. Ah! Your cries can't stop the door from closing. Alright. Meal, door, mattress, save button. Save button? Save button. What's the meal for today? A bread and a bottle of water. You made a croissant? You peek outside from the keyhole. You see the shadow of the man walking around. Seems to be busy with something. What is he doing? Sleep to end the day? No, hold on a second. Can I eat the meal? I want to let me put the croissant in my mouth. I suppose we just lay down again. Please try to improve your survival rate within 7 days. You don't gotta tell me. Day 2, morning. Let's investigate and look around. Meal, door. Empty plate. I mean, it's not empty. There's a bottle of water there. Door. You check the keyhole. What? You seem to see something. You see that there's a vague figure at the end of the door. Yell for help or observe quietly? Observe quietly. Oh wait, did this say that there were jump scares? Aw, man. Oh well, it is spooky month. You sense something wrong and realize what that is after narrowing your eyes. It kind of looks like a t-shirt design. Or it could be body parts. Ah, there is an artwork made of the human body, not being a human body. Uh-huh. Ah! You hear the door open. You slowly push the door, and there's no trace of the strange man. First, you go into a room with a large freezer, sink, and operating table. Nice bone saw, buddy. Then you open another heavy door. You find yourself in a room full of glass display jars. The jars are all filled with specimens made from human body parts. It's like you're in an art museum. That is a very interesting planter you got there, friend. Could it be that he wanted to freeze me as material for specimen artwork? You're thinking. You're seeing this scene. Fluff! Run away or admire the artworks. Well, my initial reaction was fudge! What the heck are these sick stuff? So disgusting. You say all the curse words you can think of in your life. You raise your fists and smash it against the glass cabinet, but stop just before your fist hits it. Ah! Your wrist is grabbed by someone. Hey! Before you realize it, the man is already standing behind you.
The last thing I welcome is an uneducated person like you.
Yeah, well, I mean, every art is from an artist, but your art's kind of messed up, buddy. Oh, you feel a twinge in your abdomen, and then the red warm liquid flows out. Where'd all this strawberry jam come from? He kills you, and he cleans up the scene carefully. Now, you see, if you didn't kill me there, you wouldn't have messed up your art room, so there, it's all your fault. After dissolving you with How dare you? After dissolving you with a strong acid, he buries you in the garden. My mistake, sir. I didn't realize you were a professional. Bad end. 6 You're not even good enough to be material. Not even good enough to be material. I'll show you. Run away or admire the artworks? Well, I'm not a fan, really. It's not my thing. How about we get out of here? You look for a door to escape everywhere, but just can't find any. With an idea, you lie on the wall and start tapping, trying to find if there's a hidden secret passage. Ah! Well, just when you're tapping, someone covers your face with a small towel from behind. You pass out after struggling for 2 to 3 minutes. You're back in the small room when you wake up, and the door is locked. There's no such chance ever again after that. You can only eat the meal he sends every day, and wait for the 7th day to come. Wait, so is it just over? Really? So I gotta... Well, yeah, this is a romance novel, so if we don't hit up the romance, I guess we instantly die. Bad end 6 of 3. Lamb to the slaughter. All right. Oh, how avant-garde. How unique. Such unique artwork. Let us admire the artworks. You look around and admire his work with relish. I wouldn't say with relish. You look at them for 15 minutes straight.
Interesting.
You hear a voice coming from the corner. Hey, buddy. Hey. Nice stuff you got here. This you? This all you? Well, I mean, obviously it's someone else. This your work? It turns out the man has been watching you from a blind spot behind the glass cabinet. I like them. They're so beautiful. She lied. The man goes silent with his head tilted for a couple of seconds after hearing your comment. He seems to be thinking about something.
Don't you consider it cruel or bloodthirsty to them?
I mean, I'm not gonna say that because I value my existence. No, I feel nothing at all.
You're such a weirdo.
Hey. You think, aren't you talking about yourself? After you have a tour in his display room, he locks you back in the small room you're in. You go to sleep to end the day. Hey, we're burning daylight here. Your survival rate increases. Yeah, we're on the night of day 3. Until noon, you don't see breakfast or lunch being delivered. You're already starving. Well, maybe if you would have eaten that croissant. You're waiting for him to bring dinner, but what you get is not dinner. Instead, you hear the door was opened. A light shines through the crack of the half-open door, looking like an intriguing invitation. You open the door and walk into the light. You first arrive at the room with an operating table outside of the door. But this time, the operating table is now empty. There's a defrosted human corpse on it. The man pops out of somewhere. He unties the iron chains from your feet and hands the surgical knife in his hand to you.
First, where do you think the first cut should be?
The chest? I don't know, that's what they usually do on autopsies. His voice tone sounds cold, like the kind of teacher who gives students hard questions on purpose. Attack him with the surgical knife? Can't do it? Stab the corpse. Well, since I know it's not going to work, what would happen if I attack him with the surgical knife? You turn around quickly and try to stab him with the surgical knife. But he seems to already know you would do that, and holds you down quickly. Yeah, I figured.
You were indeed pretending.
Well, yeah. He locks you back in the small room you're in. Well, looks like we're here forever. Bet in 6 of 4. Smart Alec. Can't do it? You can't hurt innocent people, even if it's a corpse. But if you don't cut it, the man will know you're just pretending to admire his artworks to survive. After struggling with your thoughts, you drop the knife in your hand in fear.
You are indeed pretending.
Hey! Hey, I'm the admirer, not the artist. Ah, dang it. Bet in 6 of 5. Too soft-hearted. You know what? Give me the knife. Give me the knife. Stab! Maybe beautiful works always come with some sacrifices. Without hesitation, you stab the abdomen out of the corpse with the knife. But due to lack of professionalism, the lines you cut are crooked and ugly. Aw. And this is where he gets close behind your back and holds your hand. Aww. You're both holding the surgical knife, like you two are cutting a cake together. Aww. With his hand, the lines you cut become smooth and clean. My, the proximity. Although I am quite terrified of you, sir. You can smell an ocean perfume on him due to how close you are. It seems to be sprayed to cover up the smell of formalin. That stuff. You can feel his warmth with your back, but his fingers are a little cold. He's focusing on cutting the corpse, and your hand keeps moving under his lead. He could have killed you or ignored you, but he didn't. You start to speculate on the purpose of his behaviors. Could it be that he wants someone who can ignore the cruelty in his process and understand him? You think, that might be it. After the happy creative time ends, you're locked in the room you're in. You go to sleep to end the day. Can I have another croissant? Day 4, noon. Until noon, you don't see breakfast or lunch being delivered. I'm hungry, dude. Did we not eat the other day? You're already starving. If this was any other game, I would have a health meter and I would die. You notice that something is shining at the corner. Ooh, a key. It seems like the man accidentally dropped it last night. You open the door with the key. You go past the operating table, where you two spent creative time together last night. The display room. Then you discover that there are unnatural, uneven marks from one wall to the corner.
Secret room!
Secret room? You find a trap door. After pushing the trap door, you see a normal basement storage room. At the corner of the storage room, you see stairs that go up. It turns out that this is really an underground secret room. Oh, a hidden layer by layer with a trap door. Hidden layer by layer with a trap door. No wonder the sound insulation is so good. You walk up the stairs and see a heavy wooden board. You push it hard. What catches your eye is the interior of a cozy cabin. Ooh. Then you realize the heavy wooden board you just pushed is the back of a bookcase. Oh. You look around and find that there are insect specimens everywhere in the cabin. There's also a reindeer head specimen hanging on the wall. I'm looking at that suspicious, lore-filled photograph over there, and the fact that you ain't taking care of your plants. How are you supposed to water them if they're all the way up there? Then, you walk into the living room. Oh, is that him? You see a young man with a handsome face and pale skin lying on the sofa. The ocean-scented perfume and the faint smell of formalin emanates from his body. Oh, it's him. He's the masked man who kidnapped you, but he's not wearing a mask at this time. His sleeping face has a ferocious expression. His neck is sweating, and he seems to be trembling. It looks like he's sick. Aww. At this time, you decide to save your game. Take the opportunity to escape or stay and take care of him. Well, I have the feeling, just a feeling, that I'm not going to escape, so let's try to escape. If you don't run away now, then when? You open the door and find a forest with heavy snow outside. You remember why you came here. You were traveling alone. In the evening, your car hit a deer on the forest road and then stalled. With no cell phone signal in the deep mountains, you walked on the road for 30 minutes until it got dark. Then you saw the lights of a cabin in the forest and decided to ask the occupants for help. But instead you got hit on your noggin. That's when you witnessed that scene. You witnessed a man wearing a mask dragging a corpse into the cabin, and unfortunately you were discovered by the man. You ran wildly on the mountain road, but the man was more familiar with the terrain than you were, and he quickly got in front of you and knocked you out. Then, when you opened your eyes, you were in the underground secret room. But this time, the man fell ill on the couch, and there's no one to stop you. You cross the gate with confidence, but after you only take a few steps, a sharp pain hits your calf, and you look down at the blood-red stain on the snow. Just now you realize that there are a lot of bear traps placed around the cabin, and it was difficult for you to identify them because they were covered by the snow. Poopy. The unstoppable pain makes you fall towards the... The unstoppable pain makes you fall towards the snow in front of you. Well, as more bear traps are triggered, you are no longer you, but an unrecognizable piece of flesh. At least the wolves and the mountain lions will be eating good tonight. The snow is dyed even brighter red, and you can only wait for the wolves to eat up your remains. Yeah, at least the wolves will be eating good. Bad end 6 of 6. Beware of traps. Who puts a bunch of bear traps right in front of their house? What if the mailman comes by? Yeah, I figured we weren't going to escape. Stay and take care of him. You can't bear to leave him alone. I can. So you reach out and touch his forehead. Whoa, so hot. You try to find something that can cool him down. Let's investigate. Anything in the kitchen? You got any rags or something? The kitchen is spotlessly clean. Fridge? There's some ice cubes in it. These can cool down his body temperature. Got like something in the cabinet? You find some clean towels in the kitchen cabinet. I can soak a towel in ice water and place it on the patient's forehead to cool him down. That would be just like me, to this guy hurt and kidnapped me, but he's got a little sniffle. Let's take care of him. The living room is spotlessly clean. The man, the sofa, the specimen. Let's look at these specimens. It feels like he did them all. The workmanship of these specimens is exquisite. October 31st, 2002. Yeah, what's with that photo? There's a photo frame on the shelf. It's a photo of him standing at the entrance of the Judical Mental Hospital with a man in a doctor's robe. Anything on the shelf? Yeah, what's with that cocoa powder? There's a jar of cocoa powder and a cup on it. Let's make him a... we're gonna make the serial murderer some hot cocoa. Some hot chalky milk for the murderer. Bookcase? You find some of his profile files in the bookcase. Name, Helen Otis. Gender, male. Birthday, October 1st, 1980. It's your birthday! Or was, depending on when this video comes out. Happy birthday! Helen Otis? Helen? Alright. You don't think it's good for a patient to sleep on the sofa, but you can't move him with your strength. I don't know, it looks like I could take him. What's the man doing? His expression is ferocious. He seems to be in pain. He's still having a fever. I think that's everything. Yeah. You return to the living room, wring out the excess water from a towel soaked in ice water, and place it on his forehead. His ferocious expression gradually softened. Aww. You once again notice his fair skin and long eyelashes and his slightly curly black hair. If you don't say he's a murderer, his sleeping face looks very harmless now. After a while, he wakes up to the scent of you brewing cocoa and sits up on the couch. He looks a little shocked. He looks around quickly and seems to understand what's going on.
Why are you doing this?
I want to ask myself that too.
You saw me faint and didn't choose to run away.
Well, I mean, I did. The thing is that I couldn't.
You're such a weirdo.
Hey. Is there anyone weirder than you in this house? You can't help but complain about him. You seem to see the corners of his mouth rising slightly for a few seconds, and the atmosphere between you relaxes. He doesn't drink the cocoa you brewed him. It seems that he is a little wary of you, as you should be. Who puts a bunch of bear traps in front of their house? Can you tell me who you are?
Bloody Painter. That's the name they gave me for my modus operandi. If you find it difficult to pronounce, you can call me BP.
BP. Even though what he told you was just a nickname, at least you know how to call him now. After the brief conversation on the sofa, he doesn't lock you back in the underground secret room. Perhaps staying to take care of him when he fell ill was enough to prove that you won't run away. You get up from the sofa and continue to look at the specimen decorations in the living room. He sits on the sofa, crosses his legs, picks up a book, and starts reading.
By the way, you better not try to escape.
Okay.
There are traps all around the cabin, and only I know how to get in and out safely.
Nah, it's all right. I kind of figured that out the hard way. You sit on the sofa. Soon, a wave of sleepiness comes over you. Aww. I mean, if I had a long stick, if I had a big stick, I'd probably be able to get out of here. Today, you fell asleep on the sofa in the living room, not in the cold underground secret room. Your survival rate increases. Day 5. Oh, we're just moving right along. You see him busy cleaning in and out of the house early in the morning. I'll come help too. After finishing speaking, you pick up the rag and bucket and join the cleaning. But you can't really see where the almost spotless house needs to be cleaned. You're just taking a wet rag and wiping it on the clean cabinet. Do you usually love cleaning this much?
It would soon be covered with a layer of dust.
Although he doesn't talk much, his tone and voice give you a gentle feeling and don't make you feel nervous. You climb up the short ladder and wipe the high cabinets with a rag. Suddenly, a cockroach crawls out from the crack in the cabinet. You're so frightened that you lose your balance and fall backwards. You close your eyes, but what you get is not the pain of falling to the ground, but a warm feeling. Aw, the bloody murderer catches me, how romantic. You open your eyes and find that he's holding you like you're a princess. He catches you with the same old cold expression on his face.
Are you all right?
I saw a roach. Perhaps to resolve the awkwardness, he asks. I'm all right. It was just a cockroach. Uh-oh. Hearing the word cockroach, he puts you down. He takes 2 steps back from the cabinet you just wiped, and then says calmly,
Don't come near here yet.
Why?
It's dangerous.
Uh-oh. Phew. You can't help but chuckle at the thought of a murderer being afraid of cockroaches. Fine, whatever you say. The interaction just now makes you feel a little warmth from this cold murderer. At least you see more of his reactions and expressions. This is a rare relaxation you've felt in these tense days. Yeah. He could have let you fall off the ladder, but he rushed over to catch you. Ah, somehow you feel that after these few days of getting along, maybe now you both have different ideas about each other than you originally had. It was only a clear relationship between a murderer who wanted to hunt and a prey who was trying to escape. But now it has an extra layer of friendship, causing the interaction between you to have an indescribable sense of dissonance. Just when you pick up the old newspaper and prepare to wipe the windows, you find a police car parked on the side of the road in the distance. Uh-oh. 2 police officers get out of the car and keep looking towards the cabin. At some point, BP is already behind you, looking out the window with you.
Wait for a second.
And then he walks out of the door to talk to the police officers.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Are you Mr. Otis?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever seen these people around here? The police officer takes out some photos from his pocket.
Have these people committed a crime and are running away?
No, these people are the missing people around this area.
I haven't seen them before, but wolves and bears often appear around here.
Can we check out your cabin?
Yes, come in.
BP behaves very kindly and politely. After speaking, he leads the way for the police officers.
Please, follow my footsteps. I placed some traps near the cabin to protect against wild wolves and bears. You don't want to step on them.
The police officers enter the house and see you. Hello, this is...
An old friend who came to visit me recently.
Why do I have the feeling that it's going to give me the chance to spill the beans? You greet the police officers with a smile and a nod. At the same time, a police officer quickly looks through the missing persons photos in his hand. Then he puts the photo back into his pocket. It seems that your disappearance has not yet been discovered by anyone yet. Oh yeah. You stand next to the bookcase, blocking the entrance to the secret room. After searching around, the police find nothing unusual and leave. Oh, okay, so we're best friends now. His trust in you increases. I wonder if I will have a chance to betray that trust. Today, you still slept on the couch in the living room instead of the cold basement. Half asleep, you hear the sound of someone approaching. When you notice it, the person seems to be very close to you. Hey, were we gonna do anything about that fever of yours? You pretend to be asleep, and the person just looks at your sleeping face quietly. The man stretches out his hand and takes it back just as he is about to touch your hair. He turns around and leaves. Oh no, are you falling? Oh shoot. We're moving right along. You see him busy in the kitchen for a while. Then breakfast is served in front of you. Ooh, is that some brioche? There's a piece of toast with just the right crispiness on a large round plate, a poached egg on top of the toast, and some lettuce salad. The plating looks delicious. Oh, it does. The drink is a cup of freshly brewed hot cocoa. The cutlery he gives you is still a round plastic fork with no offensive features. You sit at the dining table and start eating, while he sits on the chair opposite you and flips through a book. It's still snowing outside, and listening to the squeaking sound of the fireplace, the atmosphere in the cabin is particularly comfortable. As long as you ignore the fact that you're in the same room with the murderer who kidnapped you, everything is really relaxing. You look at him who is full of mysteries, and some questions arise in your mind. And you decide to ask loudly, ask carefully. I would ask carefully. Can I ask you a question?
What is it?
Yeah, what are you doing with these potted plants? Oh yeah, what books do you actually read?
Usually, I would read some anatomy and taxidermy books, but today is different.
What are you reading today?
The Truman Show.
Is that a book? What is the book like?
The whole world that the protagonist lives in, including himself, is all just someone's creation.
Is that a book? Did The Truman Show, the movie with Jim Carrey, start as a book?
Everything that happens is watched by the audience, and there is no privacy at all. But he is completely unaware that he is in such a large theater.
That's a good way to put it.
Very ridiculous, right? I can't imagine this to happen in reality, or to me. If our world was like The Truman Show, how would the audience view the current situation?
They might be pretty excited, actually.
Excited? Why?
Because you're a handsome murderer and you're falling in love with your prey. They may be attracted by your charm and want to be killed by you. Is he gonna call me weird again?
Incomprehensible.
Well, I mean...
But what a bunch of weirdos with good taste.
Hey, if you're a weirdo with good taste, consider subscribing to my channel where we all can be weirdos with good taste together. It's hard to tell from his poker face whether he's seriously boasting or joking. Pick up the book next to you and read it. You pick up the book next to you and start flipping through. It's a book about the possibility of having a completely opposite version of yourself in a parallel world. If there's a complete opposite version of you, what do you think it would be like?
Oh, that book. Let me think. Probably a guy wearing a burgundy coat and always having a smile on his face.
Why is it a burgundy coat?
Because I like blue. If he is the opposite of me, he should like red, right?
Good point, good point. What work are you going to use me for? Yeah, I guess. You ask bravely. He looks up at you for a moment.
I was going to make you into some kind of doll at first.
Ooh. At first.
Your eyes are beautiful, but if they are left alone, they'll become rotten and sunken. So I would like to dig your eyes out and put them in a glass jar and soak them in formalin to preserve them.
Oh.
Glass beads will be placed in the empty eye sockets to replace the eyes. You look very pleasing to the eye, so I would also like to keep the head intact.
I mean, thanks for the compliment.
You're welcome.
Why did he say, at first? Has his mind changed? You're curious, but you don't have the guts to ask any further. I'd be very flattered. About the potted plants. I saw many potted plants on the shelves in the living room, but why were they all withered?
I have tried my best.
Aw.
I don't know why they always die.
I can probably help you with that, buddy. Is that everything? Day 6, noon. It's noon. To thank you for making breakfast for me today, let me make lunch in return. What's that face for, BP? He frowns at you with an expression like, are you out of your mind? Don't worry, You said there are traps outside the house. Only you know how to get in and out normally. Even if I resist you with a knife, I can't escape.
Okay, but I'll keep an eye on you. Don't try anything stupid.
Aww. Great. Try everything stupid. As for what to cook and the ingredients, well, a bad idea flashes through your head, and curiosity makes you ask. Do you eat human flesh?
No, why would I do that? I just use human bodies as materials for making art, and I never think about eating them.
Alright, well that's good. So you're not like my boyfriend Sung Min. I thought you murderers all had some degree of cannibalism.
Let's put it this way. Do you eat paint and painting tools?
Well, I mean, some people. It's probably delicious to... I don't know.
Just because I kill people to use as materials to make works doesn't mean I will eat them.
Hey, it also means recycling, unless you also use the bones and then put the remains out for the wolves.
Also, I'm different from those who have fun committing a crime and kill purely for the sake of killing.
He's a murderer on a higher level.
Don't confuse me with that kind of unprincipled guy. I wouldn't do anything unless necessary. You are here only because you witnessed the crime scene.
Oh, I see. After hearing this, you decide to cook a human meat dish? Why is that an option? I kind of want to see what will happen. Cook a human meat dish? With what? What happens? Can I try cooking human flesh?
Are you serious?
No, I'm not.
Why do you do that?
I'm quite curious about the taste of human flesh. Haven't you ever been curious about it?
No, never thought of it.
He's a murderer with morals. And a good stomach. This also helps you get rid of unnecessary material, doesn't it?
I do have some useless cuts of meat in the basement freezer.
Great!
By the way, I won't eat it.
He says, but still takes you to the basement to open the freezer and takes out a piece of human thigh meat. You turn on the oven and start to cook. BP watches the entire production process, rather than worrying about you escaping. He's more worried about you blowing up the kitchen. Not long after, a roasted human thigh steak appears on the table. I won't be having any either. It's just gonna sit there. I know, right? He stares at the human steak on the table and has no intention of eating. What's wrong?
You go ahead and eat. I have no appetite.
Fine. Suit yourself. Yeah, Espoir, in the game, you can have all that too. I'm not hungry. I've become a vegetarian. Right now, for right now, for the rest of today. You cut the human steak into a size that fits in your mouth, and you put a piece into your mouth. The human flesh tastes firm, very chewy, and has a distinct beefy flavor. It tastes a bit like venison. Although it's delicious, it's difficult to chew, so you chew it for a very long time. BP frowns and sits aside, watching you eating with gusto. It's really delicious. Wouldn't you like some?
No.
Yeah, he knows that eating humans would be disgusting. They have horrible diets. He continues to watch you eating with gusto. At this point, your fork accidentally falls to the ground. Oh wait, did he actually give me a proper knife and fork to use? You bend down to pick up the fork that had fallen to the bottom of the table, then raise your head to continue eating. You look at your plate and notice there seems to be a piece of meat missing.
Not bad.
Did you say something?
Nothing.
He licks his fingertips and says, you had a fairly pleasant afternoon. You know, just eating human gam-gams. Day 6.
Hey!
What? You're woken up from your sleep by the man. Ah! His face is close to you. His blue eyes are staring at you. What's wrong? You sit up on the couch and rub your eyes.
Got to go.
Oh. Got to go?
I've noticed something unusual about the number of police cars patrolling nearby recently.
Aw. Do we gotta go on the run now?
They must have some relevant evidence and are doubting it. It is very likely there is an ambush outside. It's snowing heavily outside now, and I think it's time to leave now. Come with me or not. It's your choice.
Oh, it's telling me to save. Stay or go with him? Well, obviously I want to end up going with him. But what happens if I stay? I want to stay and live a normal life. You think that this crazy journey should not go on anymore.
Okay, I understand.
Suddenly, his face slowly moves closer to you. Are you gonna give me a kissy poo? Just when he's about to touch you. He takes a piece of cloth and covers your mouth and nose hard. After struggling hard for 2 to 3 minutes, your consciousness gradually becomes blurred. Hey! When you open your eyes, you're back in the basement again. Hey! We were having a great time. You're tied to a chair, and you can't move your body. You try to break free, but you fail. The rope is tied very firmly. You hear someone's footsteps getting closer to the door. The door opens. He walks in slowly, holding something behind his back. Are you going to escape with my eyeballs? He moves closer and closer to you until he's at your ear. You can hear his breathing and your own heartbeats. You close your eyes out of fear. You can feel that he's scratching your skin softly with the back of a knife. The cold metal stimulates your nerves. His palm is holding the back of your neck through his glove, as if he is studying your face and thinking about where to cut it. Fear boils inside you, tears filling your eyes unconsciously. Suddenly, he fiercely holds up the back of your neck, forcing you to look him in the eyes. He slowly speaks with a soft tone in your ear.
If you stay here, you might reveal my information to the police. The risk of keeping you alive is too high. But even if I say I want you to come with me, a normal person like you will leave me one day eventually.
Aww.
I quite like you. And if it's you, I would like to turn you into a work and put you somewhere I can see you every day. It's you who made me realize that I might be more selfish than I thought. Don't worry. I'll saw your head off as material for artwork and visit you every day. Thank you for spending these few days with me. I felt quite at ease.
Oh, well, you're welcome, but you don't need to saw off my head, love.
We'll have more time to spend together in the future.
My noggin! The red flower flows from the neck. That's a lovely way to put it. Day 7. Now you can neither feel or think. Well, I can complain. Everything becomes dark. Aw, did he actually make me a doll? Aw. Your body and your skull are separated. He finds a new place after he takes your head and leaves the cabin. He carefully makes your head into a specimen, and your eyes are replaced with glass beads. I'm so pretty. You are made into a beautiful but also creepy doll, and he visits you often. You become his favorite work. You are with him forever in the form of art. Good end. Favorite work? Okay. Let's go, buddy. It's me and you. It's me and you on the road. What do you want me to do? I'm fine with both choices, but I need you to look me in the eyes and tell me, what do you prefer me to do?
I prefer.
He hesitates to speak and looks away, looking like he's thinking about something.
If I take you with me, you might become a burden in the process.
It said I could hold his hand or do nothing, and you only gave me 3 seconds to do that? I read very slowly.
But if I don't take you, it will be even worse if you reveal my information to the police.
Oh. He calmly analyzes the situation.
So you might as well come with me.
Day 7. Okay.
Follow my footsteps.
You follow the shoe prints he leaves in the snow and finally succeed in avoiding the many traps around the cabin. Just as you're walking through the forest, you hear movement behind you. Freeze! Oh no! In the snowstorm, several policemen who are lying in ambush chase after you. Oh no! You ignore them and keep running forward. Ugh. A gunshot shoots across the sky, and you feel pain in your left calf. You're shot. Dang it! He turns to look at you, as if he's considering whether to leave you. He approaches you. And he holds you in his arms. Then, you feel a pain in your back. Ah! The hand he is holding around you from behind has a sharp blade. Jeez. He pierces your body with that sharp blade over and over again until you lose consciousness. All I did was choose to not hold your hand. Everything becomes dark. Until, just now, you realize that you chose to follow because... he and I are the same kind, or I want to follow him. I want to follow him. What? You wake up from a nightmare, and you're lying on a comfortable bed. What? You look around and find yourself in a cozy-looking room with specimens hanging on the walls.
Are you all right?
Did you stab me in the spine 17 times? The man asks as he opens the door. I am all right. 2 years after that. That night, 2 years ago, even after you were shot in the leg, the two of you continued to run forward in the snow. Fortunately, the wind and snow were strong enough to cover up your whereabouts, so you weren't caught. After that, you came to another remote mountainous area and rented another cabin to settle here.
If you're fine, get up quickly. I will need your help in today's creation.
Yes, teacher.
Bring me the bone saw.
Got it, boss.
Iron in the blood will trigger a luminol reaction. Any area with bloodstains outside should be wiped with hydrogen peroxide at least 3 times. Wiping blood-stained areas with hydrogen peroxide reduces the luminescence. But when it's dark, it still glows obviously to the naked eye. So, try not to leave bloodstains anywhere other than the basement.
Got it.
Good girl. You're learning fast.
He teaches you carefully, every step and every detail. You assist him in cleaning up crime scenes and assisting him in completing his creations. During the day, you pretend to be good citizens under false identities. And at night, in a place where people can't see you, you create creations that are outraged by both humans and gods. The paranoia of art, the clean and neat killing methods, the cautious and intelligent thoughts, the neat and invisible crime scenes. You are obsessed with everything about him, and he is the person you long to follow. You long to become the second him under his leadership. He is a good mentor. Rather than pampering his disciple, he prefers to use guidance to let you learn freely. You have become a pawn that he is proud of. For him, you would do anything. Until an accident occurred while committing a crime, his legs were permanently injured, and he could only walk with crutches since then. Hot. He is already in his 40s at this time, but you feel that the traces of time make his elegance even more charming. No. We must stay focused. No. Just when you think that the bloody painter's evil deeds have come to an end.
Take it. I have nothing left to teach you.
Teacher, what do you mean by that?
You seem to like this mask very much.
Aww.
I don't think I'll use it anymore, so I'll give it to you.
Aww.
What to do next is up to you.
Hey, you're only in your 40s. You're not down and out yet. He gives his mask to you. You look at the mask in your hand and seem to understand the meaning of the teacher's words. You think to yourself that maybe your encounter with him years ago was just for this moment. I won't disappoint you. The legend continues. So, what are we? Good end 4 of 3. Master and disciple. So what are we doing with all this artwork? Cause, we keep it in the basement. Apparently, someone's gonna find it. Hold his hand. Come on, baby. Your behavior makes him a little panicked, and he doesn't seem to be good at this kind of situation. You notice that his ears are flushed, and this unexpected reaction makes you want to tease him a little bit. Hey, aren't we surrounded by police, like right now? What do you prefer me to do?
I prefer.
After a moment of silence, he slowly speaks.
That you come with me.
Aww. He tries hard to look you in the eyes and speaks his thoughts.
We'll set off early tomorrow morning.
Day 7.
Follow my footsteps.
You follow the shoe prints he leaves in the snow and finally succeed in avoiding the many traps around the cabin. Just as you are walking through the forest, you hear movement behind you. Freeze! Are you gonna stab me in the back again, literally? You're shot. He turns to look at you, as if he's considering whether to leave you. Run! You yell at him, but he approaches you. Aww! And he holds you in his arms. You feel a warmth on your forehead. He kisses your forehead. Aww! You feel the time freeze at this moment. The kiss is almost like a goodbye. Ah! Then he leaves you and runs forward, disappearing into the heavy snow. Ah! You're later taken back to the police for questioning. You say throughout the process that you were a victim. On that note, you're not lying. You don't reveal any unnecessary details. Since there's no relevant evidence to prove that you're an accomplice, the police can only release you after a long period of interrogation. After that... Aww... 2 years passed. Now you live in a cheap little apartment. You live an ordinary life, as if what happened 2 years ago never happened. Today is Halloween, and every household nearby has put some thought into making decorations. But for you, it's just another day at work. When you return to your apartment, after getting off of work in the evening, the strange thing is that as soon as you open the door, you feel a gust of wind. You remember that you closed the window before going out. Just when you're about to close the window, you find a gift left by someone on the table next to the windowsill, a red rose. You don't know why, but you have a feeling that BP has been here. Every Halloween after that, you receive a rose at your residence. It's like a once-a-year greeting. Although he says nothing, the rose seems to tell everything. Aw, so on his birth month he comes and gives me a gift? Although you have certain similarities, you are two people from different worlds after all. Perhaps living your own life this way is the best outcome for both of you. Aww. Good end, 4-2. Different worlds. There's one more choice that I could have back there. Out of curiosity, what unfolds if I don't cook human meat and just cook a common dish like a sane person? You look at the ingredients in the refrigerator. There are eggs, tomatoes, white rice, and some curry powder on the shelf. Okay, I've decided. You turn on the oven and start to cook. BP watches the entire production process. Rather than worrying about you escaping, he's more worried about you blowing up the kitchen. I won't blow it up. Might burn it down, though. Soon after, a normal curry omelette rice was served. Ooh. He stares at the omelette rice without saying a word. Don't worry, there's no poison. Weren't you watching the whole process? He starts to move after you finish speaking. He takes a spoonful of omelette rice and puts it in his mouth. What do you think?
It's surprisingly quite delicious.
What's wrong?
Nothing. It's just that no one has cooked for me for a long time.
Aw, food does taste better when someone else cooks it for you. I can make you more if you like. You had a fairly pleasant afternoon. And not weird with us being cannibals together.
Hey.
Okay, so what if I say, instead of I want to follow him when he literally stabs me in the back, what if I say, he and I are the same kind? You wake up from a nightmare, and you're lying on a comfortable bed. You look around and find yourself in a cozy-looking room with specimens hanging on the walls.
Are you all right?
The man asks as he opens the door. I'm all right. 2 years after that night 2 years ago, even after you were shot in the leg, the two of you continued to run forward in the snow.
I heard someone talk very frequently in her sleep.
I was just having a nightmare. Or was the stabbing a nightmare? He sits on the edge of the bed and strokes your cheek, his forehead touching yours gently. Aww.
Don't worry. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing more dangerous than me here.
Aww. He is right. If you're just an ordinary person, you should be worried about the murderer living under the same roof as you now, rather than a nightmare. But you're not an ordinary person. You're as cold-blooded and emotionless as him. You two are equally evil, but this makes you both find a sense of belonging in each other. Living with others made him feel comfortable at first, but living with a crazy person like him doesn't make him feel uncomfortable. Aww, because you can always quickly know what the other person is thinking. And you also know clearly where the other person's boundary is. You live under the same roof, but you don't interfere with each other. He continues to commit crimes, and you sometimes participate on a whim. You have each other by the short hairs, and you know that if you expose each other's crimes to the public, then you will be finished too, so you more or less cover each other. You have a strange symbiotic relationship where you sometimes dislike each other and sometimes deceive each other. But you also have absolute trust in each other. Aww, two madmen keeping each other company. How sweet. Good end. Madman's house. Well, I think that's all the endings. Well, that was The Bloody Painter. And some people gotta suffer for their art. It's just sometimes it's the art that's gotta suffer for the art. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, or interact in any way that is comfortable for you. And since we're trying to make it to 100,000 subscribers, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. Well, I hope you have a safe and happy spooky month. Thank you for hanging out with me. Take care of yourself, have a great night, and remember, there is always hope.